welcome to EdTechX Stories. My name is Benjamin Vedrenne-Cloquet. I'm CEO and co-founder of EdTechX Holdings and Partner at IBIS Capital. EdTechX Stories is a short weekly interaction with CEOs, founders, investors, and innovators shaping and making the future of education and work. So welcome to EdTechX Stories, and I hope you enjoy our next session. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Julie Hansen. I was born in Buffalo, New York. I currently live in Westchester County, New York, which is just north of New York City. I am the US CEO and Global Chief Revenue Officer of Babbel. I'm here to talk about the future of education for language learning and how Babbel is building a guided platform of learning experiences.
Julie Hansen, welcome. Welcome to EdTechX Stories. As you said, you're the US CEO of Babbel and also Chief Revenue Officer. Babbel, as I understand, is a world leader in language learning. And it's also a European EdTech company and one of the very few EdTech company in Europe that has a strong presence in the US and strong ambition in North America, as I understand. Before we talk about your business and Babbel, let me ask you maybe a personal question. How did you end up in that position? Is there a defining moment in your life or education that inspired you to lead an EdTech business?
I wouldn't say there's one defining moment. I have always been a fan of learning and school. I would call myself a lifelong learner. Although I must say my mere master's degree pales in comparison with all the Europeans I know who have their PhDs. But nonetheless, big fan of learning formally and informally. I am the child of two people who were really the first in their families to go to college. So that was for me very inspiring. But and I also have worked in related businesses for most of my career. Although media sounds different from edtech, it's actually the business of information, and information and learning are deeply connected. So
Okay, and I've read somewhere that Babbel's mission is to revolutionize the world of learning and establish quality standards not yet met in the industry. So I'm a bit curious about this, and I also read that the company's purpose is to create mutual understanding through language. So can you tell us a little bit more about this? I'm intrigued.
well, I think our purpose taps into the fact that language learning can serve many different human needs, but the most compelling of which is connecting and communication and bringing people together. And that, if you truly understand each other, and that only can happen through communication, then amazing things can happen. I mean, we see that our learners use Babbel for a lot of different motivations. I mean, some people want to travel the world and experience different cultures and have those amazing connection moments, but others want to talk to their in-laws or their new family members, there's a lot of career opportunities that people pursue because of language learning. And really, all of these are based on that notion of greater understanding. We do also, though, recognize that there are there are users who use Babbel just to enrich themselves, that learning is in and of itself a social good or a personal good. So our purpose allows for that as well. And in terms of quality, yes, absolutely. Like sometimes to a fault. Like we want our users to learn. It is not good enough that they just have Babbel. I once suggested that maybe for the users who are not getting as far as we want them to, maybe that having a Babbel subscription is it's more about like it's available to them and they want it when they are moved, then it's available. They're willing to pay for that. It's kind of like having a subscription to the New Yorker. You're never going to get through every issue, and it will pile up on your coffee table. Yes, I'm old enough to remember paper. But that is valuable too. That's good enough. And the other executive team thought about it, and then they said, "No, we want them to learn." So we are very committed to this idea that we're creating a product that we want people to use and benefit from, and we're serious about the learning, although we also understand it needs to be enjoyable along the way.
And so on that point, how do you exactly make the digital experience better than the experiential one when it comes to learning? And I believe if you look at music, even sports, when digital goes mainstream, experiential goes premium, right? In a way, I'm just curious to get your views on the digital experience and how do you make it better, and whether experiential is still needed in your view.
Yeah, that's a great question. We think there are many things about the digital experience that are by definition better. You can take it with you. You can do it whenever you have time. It's, if you're on the subway or you're sitting at home, at your convenience, your schedule. That's a huge benefit. You can go at your own pace. You can choose the activities that move you. You know, if you like to listen to podcasts, we have those. If you like to write things down, we have that. So the flexibility of digital is amazing for our users. But we also know there's no replacement for a great teacher, which is why we launched Babbel Live. And one of the few good things to come out of the pandemic is the acceleration of the adoption of virtual learning and virtual meeting. And so I think that's been a huge help to the rapid growth of that business. But our number one thing we said about live teaching is we have to have great teachers. And the second thing is we have to have great curriculum. So we made sure that live classroom experiences tie into the app so that you have this multimodal learning experience.
And what's the one thing about online education and I guess language learning that you wish was discussed more? Because everyone talk about edtech those days because edtech is on the map, thanks or because of the pandemic. So we enter a mainstream debate. But is there one thing you wish was discussed more, understood more in online education and language learning?
I guess probably the more agreement on like how to assess and progress a language learner through digital learning. It's hard to really understand that. It was never easy in the offline world either, though, in the case of language learning. So I think that's an important topic for us, though, going forward.
Mhm. And what are you most excited about Babbel right now? I mean, what's exciting now, and what's exciting for the next 5 years in your Babbel journey?
A couple of things. One is we're very excited about our business, our B2B business, providing corporate language learning solutions. That's a very fast growing business for us. We actually have just hired our first US sales director to bring the business to the US. And we're still working on the full suite of products that we want to offer in that market. But the fact that we can offer an integrated app platform and classroom platform, those two tie together, um, it makes us unique in the industry. So we're very excited about that business. We realized a while ago that for many learners, an app was the starting point of a language learning journey. That was the first thing you did, but that wasn't enough. You need to take a trip and immerse yourself, or maybe use multiple media formats, watch movies, read books, consume podcasts, listen to music, all those kinds of things. So you need a well-rounded experience to really gain fluency. And what we're very excited about is our new ecosystem or platform strategy at Babbel, where we're able to offer more and more language learning experiences to really make language learning as profound and impactful as it can be. So podcasts, I believe we're now up to something like 50 podcasts. We have sometimes multiple podcasts for a given language at different levels. We're bringing out a ton of podcasts. We're starting to incorporate video in the app, which is very exciting, and that's been well met. As we said, we have the live product. We actually have some games in our apps now that reinforce your learning. So really creating this whole ecosystem of learning experiences, not just an app. And that is really firing us up.
Exciting. I mean, you said earlier you're a lifelong learner, and that's actually a question I ask to all my interviewees. So, what are you learning right now?
At the moment, I'm learning some German. I have to say, it's been a little bit of a handicap not being able to visit the headquarters for 2 years now. Um, we Maybe I should swap that out for French, though. We actually happen to have at the moment, mostly French engineering team here in the New York office, which I agree is a little bit surprising. But perhaps I would communicate better with them if I worked on a language, if I refreshed my French. And by the way, that's very much a use case that we see here in America, as distinct from our European customers. Is so often Americans are looking to refresh a language that they learned in high school. And implicit in that is the fact that they just don't get to use it as much as you might in Europe.
Well, I may be able to help for French then.
Excellent.
Very good. We're getting now to the next section of our interview, which is the rapid fire question. Just 5 questions you have to answer by A or B. So I'll start. German tech or US tech?
US Tech.
Teacher or technology?
You said I can't say both?
Yeah, no, you can't.
Teacher, because the teacher is in the technology and it has to start with the teacher.
You kind of said both then, but that was elegant. So well done. Digital or experiential?
Digital, because at the moment we have no experiential.
Okay. Profit or impact?
Profit, because you can't have impact without profits if you're
Yeah.
not a not-for-profit. So profit enables impact, and for
Yeah,
that reason.
well considered. You know, most of your peers jump on impact without, going with profit first. So interesting. Learners or shareholders?
Learners. Easy for me to say. That's the global CEO might have a different answer.
Very good. And now, finally, last question for you. If you were to nominate someone to be part of EdTechX Stories, who would that be, and let us know why, and we will make sure we can reach out to her or him.
You should talk to Zach Sims, who's the co-founder and CEO of Code Academy, which is a engineering teaching platform. Yeah. If I remember correctly, that's the first and only job Zach has ever had. And he's done an amazing job building up that company, and he's a lot of fun.
Okay, well, here we go then. Julie, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure. This was Julie Hansen, US CEO of Babbel for EdTechX Innovator Stories. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.